This show contains explicit language. You know, the bad words. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning, Downieville! Welcome to Dirt Magic, the Downieville Sessions. I'm your host, Martin Scheel. Dirt Magic, the Downieville Sessions, brings you good times from the great people of the Downieville Classic. In the days leading up to the 25th anniversary of this epic event, you will hear from some great people, including past champions, riders, volunteers, staff, guests, and locals, sharing their classic stories that all began some 28 years ago. Our guest today started his pursuit of perfection in junior high school. He made quality, handmade products for a fringe crowd. You know, the skaters. His skateboards were masterfully handcrafted from oak right out of his parents' garage. You know the type of kid I'm speaking of. The one spawned from an artist and an engineer. The one always taking things apart. Well, just a few decades later, his passion for art and engineering continues. He is a purveyor of masterfully crafted cycling components, a bikepacking and single speed guru, and the highest level hot wing aficionado. Please welcome the founder of Paul Component Engineering and the very definition of good people, Mr. Paul Price. Paul, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good to be here and good to talk to you, Marty.
Yeah, well, I know your schedule's really busy and taking a little bit of time down in the warm lands down south. So I'm glad to have you back here live with me. And of course, I'm sure that many folks out there in Paul Component Land are glad you're back because you guys have some pretty coveted parts. And I'm sure you're still busy.
Oh yeah, a lot of big projects going on this summer.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Well, boy, talk about projects. Here we are looking over the precipice right now, coming up on the 25th anniversary of the Downieville Classic. What that entails, not only for us, you and I personally, but for the stewardship, for Paul Components. And I mean, really, when you go back to what was it, 1989? I guess that's when you officially started, but you probably moved to Chico before then. You know, did you could you foresee the future and look down the path and even think about things like the Downieville Classic, the stewardship, your compound there in Chico?
I had no clue. I mean, I was hoping that I could be successful. I was hoping I could work it out. I was hoping I could ride my bike in a cool place, but I had no idea it'd be this good, and I would get to find out, which just a dream come true.
Oh, absolutely, boy. And there's, you're with a large group of people that say the same thing on that about Downieville. And before we get into Downieville itself and the classic, let's talk about your story a little bit because I mentioned those dates going back to, oh gosh, 88 would have been after I graduated from high school. 89, but you weren't quite in Chico yet in late 80s. So kind of give us the story of Paul Component Engineering.
Yeah, I moved to Chico. Well, I asked my long term girlfriend to marry me. She said yes. Then she backed out at the last minute, and I said, okay, well, I graduated from college. I have this degree. I've been in the Bay Area trying to be an engineer for a year, and I hate it. So I'm going to actually just go start my own business, which is what I always wanted to do. And moved to Chico and started in a garage. Yeah. And got going and eventually pulled my head out of my ass and started riding my bike. That took about 10 years just because it was work, 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 work. But eventually discovered Downieville, started going to Downieville, started racing the classic. And about my sixth single speed classic, I got to the top, up to Packer Saddle, and the moto guys, the chasers were behind me. I could hear them coming. I knew I was going to get caught. Somebody handed me a margarita, and I made my decision right then and there. no more racing. I'm going to be handing people margaritas or beers or somehow making their race better because I was kaput. I was done with racing. So it got real good.
So from your parents' garage, and from what I understand, you were helping to engineer your and your friends' skateboards, kind of an early business model,
Yeah.
to to a garage in Chico, basically buying whatever home you could, and that was the start of Paul Components. Uh, Onto a single speed, and now a purveyor of fine aid station.
Yes. Yes. This is my number one accomplishment.
So what was the impetus to get from Chico to Downieville? Like, how did someone mention Downieville? How'd you find out about Downieville?
I think the classic had been going on for a few years and people had talked about it. And I was always way too slow to do any racing and shy to actually show up and be around that many people and get my ass kicked. But eventually I did go up for a race. I just drove up just to look around, went the long way, didn't know where I was going. Um, but then went up with a friend, did a shuttle, and suddenly I was like, "Holy crap! This place is fantastic. It's an hour and 40 minutes from my house. I can do it in a day, or I can go up, do a ride, spend the night, sit in the St. Charles for 6 hours. Um, St. Charles is a
That's
bar.
easy to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
easy to do.
just a wonderful place, wonderful people, and like I said, I started racing, and then. By that point, I was familiar with you guys. I think you were familiar with me, and I approached somebody and said, "Can I do an aid station somewhere?" And here we are.
So it began. What do you think the first classic that you raced? Do you have an idea? Can you guess the year? And I don't
uh,
know. I don't. I'm not trying to catch you. I actually don't
yeah,
know.
I think it was 2012.
Oh, okay, okay.
Some, yeah, I think I stopped in about 2018.
So the aid stations, you mentioned that, and of course, we've always prided ourselves on, especially with the Lost and Found, our gravel festival. But Downieville, is for a point to point cross country race. Those aid stations can be lifesavers. I mean, starting off with an 8 mile climb out of Sierra City, you're looking for that first water at Blue Point. And then, of course, the Packer Saddle aid station, which can give you a little more. I'm sure there's death metal going on up there from Metal Mike, and then you get to go downhill for just a little while before you do the other part of the cross country course. But yeah, you've made a name for yourself and your staff, your team for aid stations, and it's probably you that set the bar, that caused others to start going, oh, well, we gotta step up our game, because Paul Components over there, one, it looks like they're having a party at an aid station.
Yeah,
Two, every single rider that goes through there loves their aid station. So we've really got to step up our game. So yeah, you kind of started something.
yeah, I pretty much invented cooking bacon at an aid station, so that's my proudest accomplishment.
Well, and lucky for us, and I stopped racing many years ago too. On that 8 mile climb, I don't even think I was a mile up it. Got tied up with another sport class or something, sheared off my derailleur, and had absolutely nothing to do with me being hungover from at least 6 hours at the St. Charles place the night before. And that's when I chose my moment to coast back down, hoping that one of the vans was still there in Sierra City, which it was, and that was my final race moment. And although I didn't get to enjoy bacon at an aid station, fortuitous variables that came about on the corner of Main Street, Downieville, and Highway 49, a coveted location that a former sponsor held for a great many years, and put out some pancakes and coffee. And well, you took it to the next level as well. You decided to take over that corner. It was a match made in Downieville, and there was the birth of Expo Bacon, Avocado, and Toast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chris King left, and I just thought I'm just gonna ask him. Maybe they'll say yes. I kind of hope they don't, but You guys gave it to me, and yeah, we've been doing it, and it just feels really good to help out. You know, Downieville's never been about sponsorship for us. Our main customer base is a little bit different than hardcore mountain bikers, but I prefer mountain biking, and it just feels good to take care of people there, give back a little
Well,
bit.
yeah, you've certainly done that, Paul, and you've given back a lot. I mean, to us, the stewardship, and many others. I know in your local area there, in the Chico area, you do a lot of things for not only the local, bike shops there, but organizations, which Downieville really, like you said, sometimes it may not be the target audience, but more times than not, our partners and sponsors, the good people of Downieville over the years, once you're there, experience the event, can experience Downieville even when the event's not there, and ride the trails. It's just such an eclectic place, and it leaves a mark on you. It changes you,
It does.
and
It
yeah,
is.
and it keeps you coming back.
Yeah, I love that place. I haven't actually been in probably a year, which I'm ashamed to say. But we're done. We're done with COVID. We're done with hiding in the sand. I'm ready to go.
And Downieville is ready for you. And yeah, I think that's a lot of people, with boy, from the fires, smoke, then a pandemic, then more fire, more smoke, forest closures,
Yeah,
the continued pandemic, and then trying to, emerge from that. And for us too, we had to knock off the cobwebs and pull off the lost and found in 2022 last year. And this year we'll be doing both that and the Downieville Classic. And yeah, it's been a while since 2019,
yeah.
since we've sat on Main Street.
You guys have had probably so much anguish for what you do and what you got handed the last 5 years. So I'm really glad you're still here and sticking with it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we're excited about this one, and the 25th anniversary is going to make it even that more exciting. So we're really looking forward to it, and looking forward to getting that bacon and avocado toast right there on the corner again. Kind of off the subject, but you did mention, kind of emerging from the shadows of the pandemic. What about Halloween? Or can we expect that to ever come back?
I think it's going to happen this year. I,
Oh, yeah, that would be
I
awesome.
think the community needs it. It was just such a tied together everything for the year kind of thing for the locals, and we get some people from out of town, you guys. But I think I said I was never going to do it again, but after this pandemic and the drought and the fires, I think we might need to have a little bit of a blowout there.
Well, it'd be fun. I think kind of the last big blow was probably your 30th anniversary party, and that was
Yeah,
what, 2019.
yeah, that was a little toned down, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So as we get back to Downieville, the classics coming up. It's work and play for all of us, of course, but you pulling double duty, especially. You've got the aid station going, and I know that you usually manage the aid station out there, and you've got your top notch crew in town doing the bacon and the avocado. But the race weekend is just one weekend, and we all get to just really enjoy Mother Nature's paradise there and some awesome trails. What's your favorite Downieville trail?
Um, Lava Zola, which I have never done the whole thing, but uh, I sure do like it. Yeah, just being way back in there, and just the history. You get to see there's a lot of mining stuff still around. The fruit trees that are up there. There's enough fruit to make whatever that alcohol they made, that wine, like pears,
Oh yeah, yeah.
grapes, and something else. I don't know. Billy told me what the deal was with that stuff, but yeah, I just love that trail.
It probably wasn't too long ago that they were still making some of that shine up there in spots of that trail.
Polly Creek is like close second. Polly Creek, the cross country course is just so good.
Yeah, it's a pretty epic course, and I know it's tough and it can beat people down, but I just I always respected a point to point, as opposed to doing laps and I know that laps can be more predictive, because after you've got one lap down, it's coming at you. But yeah, starting in Sierra City and going to a whole different town through 27 miles is quite a feat, and people should definitely be proud when they notch that one onto their race belt for sure.
Especially when you after doing that climb. Oh my god.
Well, that brings me to my next question. You're an avid one speeder and have been for some time. Are you still, like, when you're mountain biking? Is that it? Are you always on the one speed?
No, it's about a third of the time now, but that's makes me feel young, and it's just a whole different kind of thing. Just love it. Yeah.
So if you had to give some advice to some youngins out there that are either racing the cross country solo or they're in it for the all mountain win, what would be your advice to them on a bike setup?
Oh, I'd say run some ape hanger handlebars. Get yourself the biggest, baddest Harley seat with tassels, and maybe some bass boat purple rims, and I think you're all set to go.
Oh boy. Now that's kind of taking me back to what would qualify as the infamous Cruiser Cup that we did
Yes.
there for a while.
The yeah, I am not much in the racing community. I don't have any race bikes. Yeah, just never had the lungs for it. So I'd say the main thing is if you think you're going to be in the top 100, that's great, but don't be mad if you're not, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to think that. So just enjoy yourself. Stop at our aid station, have a beer, have a shot of whiskey, have some bacon. If you get too serious about it and you really beat yourself up, it's kind of a waste of money in my mind.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience, and we call it a race, but really it's just kind of a personal achievement. I think for most, yes, there are the top riders, especially in the expert class and the pro class that they're. I mean, they're racing for money, they're racing for street cred and or racing for sponsors. But again, Downieville is just one of those places, race or not, that can kind of change the DNA of your body and mind and soul, and it'll keep bringing you back for years and years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I agree. Just go out and enjoy the ride, and you'd be surprised. I think many times there's probably been folks that have stood on that podium just because they went out and enjoyed the ride.
Hmm. Yeah, if you get too caught up in your head and you get pissed and you get mad, like you're just pissing away energy. Just yeah, that's not productive.
Nope, definitely not. So with that, what would be your most memorable or craziest moment at the Downieville Classic or just in Downieville?
Oh man, my fastest ride ever, and this was on Polly Creek over to the downhill. But I got to the bottom. I got to the top of First Divide, which is the very last part. I knew it by heart. You can ride that blindfolded. I just done this epic ride. Like I fucking hauled ass. For me, it felt so good. I get to the bottom. I'm like, oh, I can relax. And I go between these two trees, and I handlebar hits one. Bike goes this way. I go that way, and there's a pile of rocks because it's all rocks pulled out of the creek down there.
Yeah.
Land on it and roll over, and I start feeling around, and I had all my teeth, so I was good. I mean, I hit really, really hard. Turns out I broke my sternum, which I didn't even know for a few days. I just felt like crap, but that was a little bit of a wake up call. Like, yeah, I'm not really quite that bitch, and to just stop concentrating whenever I felt like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that first divide can sneak up on you. That was one of the first rides, and the only ride that my wife has gone on in Downieville, um, probably because of that.
Yeah.
But we rode up Lavazola Road,
Mm.
and I think I just brought her on lower first. Didn't take her all the way to upper first, but for some. Yeah, and she was on a Santa Cruz Chameleon. Still had a front fork on it. And but the thing is we take for granted that river is down there. We know it's there. You don't look at it. You look ahead.
Yeah.
Well, literally, she didn't see it that way, and I was smart enough to ride ahead enough to where she couldn't really see me. So there was no turning back, and she had to go forward. And yeah, that was almost divorce. On that one.
There's some spots there that if you think about it, not good.
Yeah, not good. That's for sure. Oh boy. Well, the years of the classic, um, and you've done much more than that. I mean, you've been a part of our mountain epics, our trail work days, midweek, weekend, from a few people to 100 people, and really we become family. And Downieville has been the precursor, kind of the catalyst to make that happen for so many people that I've met in the past 25 plus years, and yourself included. That we've really become a family, and boy, stories of the Lost Sierra, the events are just part of it. So I just wanted to share a couple things with you that are just outside the Downieville Classic a little bit, but we'll see if these kind of spark some memories for you. um, Eating chicken wings and good and plenties on Mills Peak Trail. Do you remember who you were riding with on that one?
Uh, on Mills Peak. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've only done that once. But that was right after it opened, I think. On Mills,
Could have been.
maybe. Yeah, wasn't it Greg and Kurt
And a youngin'?
and a youngin? Maybe.
It'd have been Miles. I think Miles had the real memory of that one. Probably the good and plenty.
Yes, Miles. I know, Miles. We've always had a crush on each other, me and Miles. Since he was a little kid. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I love that guy.
Oh, he was likable. Do you remember that he had that POC helmet that Danny McCaskill signed? And boy, I don't think he took that off for like 90 days. It didn't matter. Shower, sleep,
Yeah,
eating, riding, skateboarding. It
yeah,
was on his head for like 3 months straight.
yeah, yeah. He's such a great kid.
Well, and again, back to family.
He was probably like, oh, who is this weirdo when he's got chicken wings? I'm sure it made an impression.
Oh, he knew the way to your heart right away.
Yeah.
Right away, that's for sure. Now, had he if he was old enough to bring along Sierra Nevada, then it'd have been a marriage made in heaven at that point.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, riding with Greg, also AKA Willie, AKA the Wizard. There was an opportunity where you did some riding with the Wizard and turned around and rewarded him for it. Do
Yeah.
you remember that one?
Man, that's fuzzy. We've rode together plenty of times, but how did I reward him? Did I crash? Make him crash?
Oh no, you gave him some sort of award with the best wizard ever award. I know. Who knows what the trophy is? Probably a bottle of Sierra Nevada. That was probably the reward.
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. That's pretty fuzzy, but was that at an epic or something, or
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think so.
remember.
It's probably I wasn't at that one. I think it was a ribbon cutting. It was probably up at Packer,
Yeah,
like Gold
yeah,
Valley
that might
Rim
have been
Trail or Sunrise, or Mills Peak. Oh, it could have been. Yeah, it was
yeah.
probably Mills Peak. Yeah, riding with the Wizard.
Hmm.
From single speeds to chicken wings to Sierra Nevada, riding with the Wizard. Another adventure vehicle comes to mind, and that is the world famous or infamous Paul Dune Buggy,
The Doom Buggy.
the Dune
Yeah,
Buggy.
yeah, that'll be in now Lost and Found.
We always
I
love
love
to see
that
the
thing.
Dune Buggy, just as long as it's not on the racetrack in Quincy at the Plumas County Fairgrounds, but that's another story. Um,
That's another.
but I do have a story from the Wizard himself that was a fun ride up to the Buttes in the buggy, and
Yeah,
uh, and the trip back down apparently was a little more exciting than the trip up, just because maybe braking wasn't exactly where it needed to be on the buggy.
the buggy. That was the early buggy days, and it was not completely. sort it out. But we got that thing going. We were on three wheels half the time, getting up to and you can't drive up to the lookout anymore, right? I think that was one of the last times you could drive all the way up there. But
Yeah.
yeah, and the engine died half the time, and it backfired, and you had to keep it really revved high. So I had to pop the clutch, and I had to pop the front wheels off the ground a couple times because we were going uphill anyways. And Greg was pretty green by the time we got to the top. He didn't quite know what he was getting himself into. But yeah, that was a I didn't either, and that was a pretty good bonding experience. Yeah, there was times when I wasn't sure what was going to happen. There was a very big cliff on the other side too.
Ooh, yeah. They're yeah, I know the one you're speaking of too, and that one's taking bikes, motos, vehicles, and other body parts and everything else. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was gnarly, but yeah, Greg and I were best friends after that.
There's nothing like a near death experience to bring people together.
Yeah.
All right, so now some expertise beyond the world of Paul component engineering, because I know, and many of us know, because we've known you for so long now, the two of your favorite things. One, obviously, Sierra Nevada, which works out well because they're right there in Chico and really close to where you are. Um, and not only their libations, but they have pretty damn good chicken wings.
Hmm. They do.
And you've become kind of the connoisseur, the pinnacle of what we look up to. If Paul Price says these chicken wings are good, well, then we know that bar is up there pretty high, which we all appreciate. But you've also done some other research with Sierra Nevada chicken wings that come from the restaurant there at the brewery. And folks, when you do hear this story, do your own research, refrigerate your food, and don't listen to anything that you may hear in this podcast as safe by any means. But
Yeah.
Paul, I want you to tell us what you have figured out about their chicken wings and no refrigeration.
Yeah. So, well, one day I bought some chicken wings there, and we didn't eat them all, so I took some home, three or four, and I thought, yeah, I'll put those in my bike bag. Hit a nice rest spot, and I had never tasted anything so delicious. Like sweaty, tired, spicy chicken, greasy, just so delicious. Then I started bringing chicken wings and a beer, which just makes the whole ride a super, super good treat. Then I just got into the habit. In fact, I just bought some to go today for my ride tomorrow. But yeah, I've gone 4 days in the car
Wow.
with chicken wings. I would not recommend it. They tasted fine. I think it's sort of on the edge. 3 days I'm okay, unrefrigerated, but I have done 4 days once or twice. But don't try this at home, folks.
Yeah, please do not. Don't try this at home or on the trail, because if you can't handle it and your stomach can't handle it, boy, there's probably not enough mountain money in the forest to take care of what's going to come your way.
Yeah. No, I've been lucky. I've been lucky. The other thing that will happen is you get the little paper box to go containers. You put those in a cooler. You put ice in the cooler. You set off. Everything's hunky dory. Guess what? A few days later, the ice is melted and your wings are in the bottom, soaking in a pool of water. So that's another thing you got to watch out for with the chicken wing game.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very appetizing either. Wet, watery chicken, not so good.
Now that they're no good at that point.
Oh boy, the conversations,
Mm.
and there's so many. I mean, we're already approaching a half hour here, and I mean, we could talk for hours. And boy, yeah, if you throw some Sierra Nevada or a St. Charles place into it,
Oh
yeah, we'd record for days, I'm sure.
yeah. Well, I am really looking forward to hanging out with you guys. I haven't seen my mountain family in a long time. I mean, there's lost and found, but we used to hang out a lot. back in the pre-pandemic. But yeah, we got to get back to that.
Yeah, for sure, and we plan on doing that too for the 25th anniversary there in Downieville. Really ramping it up. Of course, we've got an epic next month in Quincy. We'll have another one in Downieville after the classic. But we're coming up on some year markers too. Obviously, it's the 25th anniversary of the Downieville Classic. This is our 20th year. It'll be our 20th year of the Sierra Beach Trail stewardship.
Big.
Yeah, yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And you're what? So this will be 34 years for you now. So next year will be 35. Is that what we're doing? Man, it's flying.
Yeah.
40 plus years for Sierra Nevada. See, I'm naming all these cool anniversaries that are going on of some of my favorite things.
Paragon Machine Works is 40 years this year, so that's cool.
Wow, 40 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. And we're the exact same age as we were when we got started, so that's good. We look exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. I was giving Gary Gleason a little bit of hell. I told him that he had been around the classic as a long hair and remains there now as a gray hair. He used more of the word salt and pepper in the hair. So we'll go with that one. And as yeah, definitely me. My the hair that grows off my chin now used to be kind of a Norwegian red, and now it's just gray. It's just white. Well, Paul, what, with the stewardship and the Downieville Classic, what does it mean to you that many weren't sure if we could bring back events at all? We didn't know what it was going to look like post pandemic. The lost and found was a little easier because we're spread out. The parklands where we all get together is a much bigger area. But Downieville, last year, we just couldn't see it happening. And even this year, it took us a while to really drop the hammer on it for our board to approve it. Because, I mean, as you well know, Downieville is intimate. And unless you're out on the trail, if you're back in town, there is no spreading out, especially when you put close to 4,000 people in there in a weekend and, over 10 times the population of the town. But with that being said, what are your thoughts on the return, the anniversary, and kind of where that location, holds in your heart?
Well, mostly I am happy for the town. I know there's some people that don't like bikes there, but I think when you look at it as a whole, I think it's great for the town. They need some events. They had a sort of a schedule of events happening, 3 or 4 over the summer, and then that probably went to 0 for a long time. And it's just a place like that. It's just good to get some outside money, spend some money there, eat a pizza, go to the taco, go to the casino. Um, I'm just excited for how it can stimulate the town, and then get people excited about riding there again. Which, admittedly, I haven't been in a long time, a year or so, and I need a little kick in the butt to get up there, and because those people, there's not a lot happening, and we all want Downieville to be there. But some of us, you have to go there once in a while and spend some money for that to happen. So I'm excited about that process getting going again.
And there's some there's some new folks there too. The Riverside and the Carriage House have new owners. And, of course, Greg Long now with Downieville Outfitters. His wife Sabrina has her cafe open. There's the Boomtown Lounge. Even one of our longtime volunteers, that actually is our volunteer coordinator now, taking over for Debbie when she retired. He and his wife have moved there, and he's invested in the town of Downieville. And a lot of that is based on outdoor recreation. And it's been the decades of work to, bring people beyond bicycles. And yes, there are those, like you said, that I'm sure that are still, anti-bike, but I think that we crossed over that peak some years ago.
Yeah.
And making positive movement. And of course, some move away, some pass away, and then some we've changed their minds. And the magic is definitely there. And I know that once you get back there on your bike, that spark will kick back in. And I hate to use the word spark anytime I'm talking about Downieville, but I know that'll bring it all back for you. And this podcast through the Downieville sessions is talking about the good people of Downieville and the Downieville Classic. And you are certainly one of the top listed of those people that have helped us create Dirt Magic, that have helped make the Downieville Classic a success and will continue to have become family and a friend. And thank you for all of the above, and looking forward to the future. It's looking pretty good.
It's looking good. I am so excited. Yeah, this is going to be a great reunion, a family reunion. Get some new people interested in Downieville. It's going to be good. So I'm going to be there, and we're going to be ready to party and ready to help out.
And folks, too, for those of you that will be racing the All Mountain, we've got, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we've got a very cool gift from Paul Component Engineering. And every single person that picks up that packet and their number plate for the All Mountain category is going to have a nice little Paul Component engineered device with their stuff. It'll be something that you won't be able to get anywhere else. You won't be able to buy it. You have to earn it by being in the All Mountain, and it will be 25th anniversary. And if it's like the thing that I have from years ago from Interbike, many of your friends will try to steal it. Yeah. Time and time again. So it's one of those type of things. So I'll just leave it at that. Paul, I know you're a busy man. Lots of components still going out the door there. Man, hey, thanks so much for, first, being a friend of the stewardship, the classic. Really a brother at this point, brother from another mother. And thanks for everything you've done for the Downieville Classic, for the stewardship. And and thanks for being on the show today. I know time's hard to get by, and especially doing these things remote. I'd much rather do it right there with you in that Sierra Nevada. But we got to go with what we have right now. But huge thanks, Paul.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'll see you soon, Marty.
All right, brother. We will see you in Downieville, and if not, maybe in Quincy or on the trails beforehand. And thanks again, brother. Good seeing you.
Sounds good. You too.
You've been listening to Dirt Magic, the Downieville Sessions. I'm your host, Martin Scheel. Dirt Magic is produced by the Sierra Buttes Trail Stewardship. Music selection courtesy of the Saddle Tramps. Stay tuned for our next Downieville Sessions, and thanks again for listening.